CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I'm excited to invite you to a very special event, the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi's annual Dance Like the Stars Gala. It's a great time and a great event, and I can speak from experience. Several years ago, I was one of the participants, so I know you're going to enjoy this. It's happening on Saturday, July 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cadence Bank Arena. Visit www.bgcnms.org to get your tickets, and we'll see you at Dance Like the Stars.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor. I hope you guys have been able to stay dry today, but if not, don't worry, there's more chances on the horizon, so go ahead and have that rain gear handy. You're going to need it for your Saturday as those rain chances really start to pick up. What we're tracking here at the Room to Room Weather Center is enjoying the rain while it lasts, because it's not going to last forever. Really, tomorrow's our heightened chances, and then beyond that point, a much drier forecast. We'll be breaking that down here in just a few moments. Also, cooler temps for the weekend. A lot of that thanks to the rain-cooled air. So with the rain showers comes cooler temperatures, a big debate we talked about during the midweek forecast. So it's in play right now. Do you want hot and dry, or do you want cooler and wet? That's the golden question. Hot week ahead, and very hot week ahead. I mean, we're talking about hot temperatures. You're going to hear me say hot probably a dozen times tonight, because that's what's moving in, and it's going to be even higher than what we had this past week. So buckle up for the heat. You didn't experience it last week. Matt, you're in Canada. You didn't get to experience it. Come next week, you'll be experiencing that Mississippi heat. Don't you worry. Kosciuszko coming in tonight with 79 degrees. A few light showers you can see on radar just tracking around the Kosciuszko area, but not showing an extremely heavy amount of rainfall. So fortunately, a lot of that falling down to the ground, and it's a sprinkle, a drizzle max that we're getting with that storm, or not even a storm, should I say, a shower, a light shower at that. 8 to 10 showing 79 degrees. Not seeing anything rainfall-wise surrounding the area, but earlier this evening definitely did get a good downpour down in Oktibbeha County. So folks down there were having to batten down the hatches and have that umbrella handy, but fortunately nothing severe across the region. It's primarily just been a few rumbles of thunder and lots of heavy rainfall. Right now what we're tracking is that isolated shower down there towards Kosciuszko. Like I mentioned, Atala County really the focal point in our area tonight. As you can see, it's that light rainfall that's falling down, but overall not seeing an overly significant chance of rainfall, especially here over the next few scans. I mean, let's just go ahead and walk through the last hour as that has kind of dissipated on out. That's the remnants of what was earlier a thunderstorm as it moved through Atala and Winston County. Going to keep expanding things out. I want you to see the loop on these storms as they've really just cycled through the area over the last 6 hours. So let it recycle. Let me try it one more time. Let it recycle here, and then you can kind of see just how it's developed over the past 6 hours. 4 o'clock, widespread showers and thunderstorms. By 5, 6 o'clock, we were talking about a few isolated cells. But then by the time we got towards 10 o'clock, we're talking about nothing across the region. But I want to say, don't be fooled by the nothing, because the nothing does transition to something into tomorrow morning. And we'll see that on Futurecast here in just a moment. But let's first talk about rainfall totals, because while it doesn't look like a ton in regards to the impacts that we saw, lots of rainfall can result in some brief areas of lots of rainfall in a short time frame can result in some flash flooding. So 1.5 inches down there close to Brooksville in Noxubee County, 1 inch there northern Oktibbeha, Eupor showing 3/4 of an inch. Let's jump out towards the Delta, 1 inch there towards Greenwood, talking about an inch there in Highway 61 towards Hollandale, and even up here towards Batesville. I want to point out 1.13 inches. That was over a very short time frame. We were talking about a storm that barely moved, about 2 to 3 miles an hour as it just cycled through Batesville, cycled through Panola County. So overall, that's what we were tracking, was just those heavy downpours over a brief time frame that caused some concern for flash flooding, but fortunately didn't even get flash flooding to happen. So that's a great sign of what's to come. Hopefully that's just a continuation where we just get that good steady rainfall that we need to grow our crops right now, and not anything more than that, right? So that 10% chance really sticking around into the overnight hours. And Well, it might seem just like 10%, it's very little. It's basically setting the scene for what should be an active morning. Models have been forecasting this for quite a bit. And we're talking about 7, 8, 9 o'clock, those isolated showers developing. And by the mid to late morning, those really start to ramp up and could be hearing a few rumbles of thunder with those storms. Let's take a look. And what we have right here, this is our surface analysis. And I'm going to expand it out one more time because that low that was once in Arkansas has now dissipated out to where it's so broken up and so disorganized, we don't even have a low pressure center anymore. This moisture is still associated with that low, but really just not wrapping around an organized center. That's going to still move in that northeast direction, especially as this frontal boundary carries it north and east. So that's what we're watching over the next 24 hours is how quickly that moves and how quickly our rainfall chances go with it. And it will. It just might take about 24 to 48 hours for that to happen. So that frontal boundary, I mean, looking up towards the north, this is really where the severe weather is expected to happen. Tornado warning, northern Nebraska. We were having severe thunderstorm warnings towards Minneapolis. So that's really our threshold for severe weather. What we're getting down here is just going to be some moderate showers to even a few rumbles of thunder max with a lot of these cells. So fortunately, that's a good thing when it comes to watering our crops, watering our gardens. Especially if you're like me and I planted my garden. I forgot to water today. I was praying we'd get a shower and I don't think the Manor house did. So shows how scattered that development is, right? So towards the early morning hours of our Saturday, you can see those isolated cells continue to develop. That low pressure center, while it's not an organized center, it's still where that batch of moisture is. So a lot of these showers and thunderstorms that do develop, that's still associated with that low. So as that low moves north and east and that frontal boundary carries it away, we're still going to see those isolated chances for the early to mid morning and even by late morning, and those cells really picking up a bit more in coverage and could be on the stronger side. Not talking severe, but strong thunderstorms can still happen with 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts, lots of heavy rainfall, and an energetic storm with lots of lightning. So we're tracking that into the lunch hour as well. So if you have any lunch plans across the region, I would move them indoors if possible, especially if you're in the eastern side of our viewing area towards 3 p.m. Just take a look at that swath of moisture that's just all the way from Richmond, Virginia to Nashville to northeast Mississippi. So a very large batch of moisture that's just going to keep fueling the atmosphere with more showers and thunderstorms into the next 24 hours. So there's your chances of rainfall. Lunchtime to early afternoon, that's really your time frame that we're watching for peak coverage, but those even linger into the 6, 7 o'clock hour until that daytime heating fully goes away. So what we're tracking here in the next 60 seconds is a hyper-focused look at those rain chances for your Saturday, how long they'll, or should I say, how much will stick around for your Sunday, and then heading towards next week, we're dry, but dry comes at a cost. We're talking about all of that coming up in the next 60 here at Mississippi Live Weather, and you might even hear a little word from Canada as well. So all the reason to stick around, we'll see you right here in a minute.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Athabasca Glacier up here in Jasper National Park. It's at the edge of the Columbia ice field. If you go up over there, it's an ice field that stretches 125 miles. This glacier is actually in a lot of ways kind of like a river flowing off of that ice field. I'm gonna change the fact that it's looking at me and let you kind of look at the surroundings here. We had to use these special ice crawlers that you see behind me here. There are only, I think, 23 of these in the world, and 21 of them actually get you up here onto the glacier. It is just absolutely stunning. It is actually not as cold as you might think, but it's clearly not warm. You'll notice the color that you're seeing below us here. That, of course, the glacier that we're standing on, the color has to do with the way in which the ice forms. You see, ice in your refrigerator is actually about 50% air. ice in a glacier like this, because of the way in which you have layers of snow that eventually through the weight get compacted and freeze, it's actually only 10% air, believe it or not. And so that's what gives it the darker blue sort of color that you see here. Now this glacier, if I kind of swing it back around this direction, used to extend, you see there's a building all the way down there? It used to extend all the way down to that building, and of course because of climate change over the last century, it has retreated substantially, something that unfortunately is one of those big issues we do have. Well, also we start talking about sea ice. White like this reflects away a lot of energy. As a result, it's good for maintaining temperatures. It's the reason why, of course, in the heat wave we have back in Mississippi, you want to wear white to reflect that sunlight back. So darker, like darker ocean, and believe it or not, darker like some of the leftover deposits of rock that we have here. If that gets onto the glacier itself, it actually helps it to melt a little more quickly as well. We are on a safe portion of this. The reason we're not going to venture off the edge here is because there are a lot of crevasses, basically cracks, that develop in this and allow it to, as it's again a flowing item, so to speak, you get those cracks, and sometimes they can be 20, 30, 80 meters deep, as they were describing on our way up here. So that's the latest here from the Athabasca Glacier out here in Jasper National Park in Alberta, Canada. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Longmont reporting for Mississippi Live Weather.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, if you're like me and you watch that, you might have got a little bit of a shiver, but then you realize you're in Mississippi and you walk out the door and you're sweating again. So kind of the up and down forecast. It's cold up in Canada, warm down in here. That's expected. But what we did get today was some isolated showers. Cooled us down, not to Canadian temperatures, but at least a little bit cooler than what we are typically accustomed to here in North Mississippi. Bradley and Highway 6 highlighting a great isolated shower. I mean, when we talk about isolated, this is as isolated as they come. Blue sky is still surrounding the entire storm. So there you go. That's the entirety of summer in Mississippi. A great example right there on Highway 6. So thank you to Bradley for submitting that picture. Wanda in Boonville showed us a great shot of a rainbow over there in Boonville. My wife sent me over a picture of the sunset, and it was a stunning sight. So not only did Boonville get this spectacle up in the sky, I know that they also got a great sunset there as well. So thank you to all of our weather watchers out in the field. Again, if you guys want to submit pictures, submitting them on our app, we'll get it directly on our page so we can post them on our on the 10 o'clock, on the 5, 6, whatever broadcast we have, submitting those. It's just a great opportunity to showcase what you guys do and the amazing photography skills that you guys have. And the app is easy to download. Go ahead and go to the side, click submit your picture, and boom, knocked out just like that. And we'll get the great shots here at Mississippi Live Weather. So looking at our Mississippi Live Weather radar, speaking of a great sight, it's drier than what we were experiencing even a couple of hours ago. So the 10 o'clock plans for whatever you have planned at 10 o'clock on a Friday night should be good to go. I say that for everyone except for Winston and Tala County, even portions of Choctaw County, getting those remnants of some moderate showers, but those dissipating out. So maybe the 11 o'clock threshold will be staying dry for those areas that I just mentioned. So there is something to look forward to. There are some drier conditions, especially as you look over the last hour or so. Look at how it's just weakened in strength. So just seeing a light shower, probably a good portion of that not even making it to the surface. So that's really the last of the showers, the last of an active afternoon as we take a look here in North Mississippi. That's not a bad forecast, right? Well, take a look over time. I want to show you how that low just basically evaporated out. It became so disorganized that a lot of that moisture that was wrapping around that low, it's not as organized with those bands that are trying to wrap around it. So that's a good thing for us because it means that the wind threat for tomorrow, it's basically nothing at this point. So what we're going to be is those isolated cells could have some wind threats within them, but those bands are not going to have the wind threats that we typically have with a tropical system. So that will continue to shift north and northeast before transferring a lot of that moisture here to northeast Mississippi. So expect showers and storms to increase towards our Saturday, and that's going to be an all-day threat as well. Your day planner coming in for your Saturday looking like chances peak by late morning into early afternoon. Those chances up to 40, 50, possibly even 60% in some cases. So it's going to be an active pattern, but the fortunate thing is You can't get better than that in July. 89 degrees, not complaining one bit about those high temperatures. So soak it in while you can, because come 5 days from now, we'll all be wishing it was 89 degrees. We might get the flip version of that of 98. So looking at Futurecast, here's what we have overnight. Those isolated cells still possible, and a few of those having a rumble of thunder or two. The thing is, for tomorrow morning, it has changed just a bit on model runs. Beforehand, that 7 o'clock cluster of showers and storms was back here towards Greenwood and Belzona. So it basically cycled through the entirety of northeast Mississippi. Now that starting point, that initiation point, is further north and east. So by the time it moves north and east out of Tishomingo County, well, it's going to be, well, first off, out of the area. So we're not seeing the heightened threats that we were seeing earlier that had the chance to produce some gusty winds and heavy rainfall as well. That's a good thing for us, as long as it keeps that same trend. Low temperatures tomorrow morning still going to be mid-70s. So this is that typical pattern that we talked about at 6, where it's a uniform temperature as you go about the day. Higher lows and lower highs. Yes, don't get that confused. But yeah, so you're starting a little bit warmer and ending a little bit cooler during your peak heating. That's not a bad forecast. I'll risk warmer temperatures in the morning if it means cooler temperatures in the afternoon. Now, I mentioned those showers do dissolve on out and move up towards the north and east, but that's not our only threat for the day. We keep the Futurecast going, and we have more activity that's trying to spark just a bit more on the back end of this. Now, this is something that we're watching for some heightened wind threats, and especially with this cluster, that cluster going to merge just a bit more. It's going to be let me just walk you through tomorrow's forecast. This is how it could be on the good side or the bad side, and bad relatively speaking. Good side is it just remains a cluster, and they're just eating at each other's energy, and they're going to stay in their own individual cells and just be a few thunderstorms scattered across the region, moving through north portions of our viewing area, talking about Yalobusha County, Calhoun County, and Pontotoc County, Union, Tippah, Benton. But if they all merge together, that's where we could get one that's eating up all the energy that could be on the stronger side with some gusty winds by noontime heading into your Futurecast tomorrow. You really see that right here. Whenever we start to get that bowing out segment with a few of these isolated cells that merge together, that's where you could get some of those stronger wind gusts. So early afternoon is what we're watching for, a few stronger storms to at least try to develop. Now, does that mean they will? It definitely is not the environment for this to typically happen, but there are those instances where they do, and so we're definitely keeping track of that further into our Saturday afternoon, early afternoon. Now, those all become broken up, and this is what I really think that once they do merge, I do see them splitting, and that's going to, again, weaken the environment and not cause anything too severe. It's just going to be those typical summer thunderstorms. So 3 p.m. primarily getting those along western sections of Alabama with heavy rainfall, energetic cells that are going to have lots of lightning associated with it. That's not our only threat. It's not just the leading edge, but we are watching some isolated development towards Lowndes County, Oktibbeha County, even all the way south towards Carroll County as we move further into that Futurecast. So by the time we get towards the late afternoon, a lot of those chances do dissipate out, and we're seeing light to moderate rainfall as a result towards our late afternoon and early evening. So still seeing rain chances, but our best chance to see stronger storms will be by early afternoons. That's where we have that Mississippi Live Weather app handy, letting us know the latest on alerts. Do I expect severe weather tomorrow? No. But do I expect at least a few strong storms to try to get up to 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts? For sure, it's definitely possible in this environment as they cycle on through. High temperatures tomorrow, this is the great sight. And I just want to keep it here for a moment and marvel. Because 84 in Red Bay, 89 towards Kosciuszko, 88 Houston and Eupora, basically upper 80s all across North Mississippi. You cannot ask for better temperatures in July, and we will take every second of that. Now, mugginess does come into play. Mississippi is nothing without its mugginess, and so it has upper 90s expected with a few areas trying to reach up into the triple digits. But again, that mugginess is not overbearing, so we're not going to see what we saw even a couple of days ago where we were talking about 110 in a few locations. This is a much better sight for temperatures and for heat indices, although it still looks pretty toasty. Futurecast for the rest of our evening shows that light to moderate rainfall dissolving on out, and we'll see a much calmer pattern into the overnight hours for our Sunday. So Sunday starting out drier, and we'll see those showers try to develop by the time we get towards our early afternoon. Once again, that afternoon is always the peak time frame in summer patterns to have the heightened chances of rainfall. So by 1 to 3 o'clock, that's where those really start to flare up a bit more. And we're talking about if you are east of 55 and north of Highway 82, the best chances of seeing those showers, especially the further north and east you are as we head into that early to mid-afternoon. Again, all that moisture being carried out towards the northeast, so the closer you are north and east, well, you're going to have better chances of seeing those rain chances. So by 6 p.m., still seeing a lot of those showers try to linger around that same northeast area of Mississippi before cycling north and east. I said north and east a ton, I'm so sorry. But north and east in the United States away from North Mississippi and staying on the drier side as we head into our Monday. So that's something we can look forward to, is drier weather is on the horizon. If you don't enjoy the rain, but trust me, you're going to enjoy the rain because of what's coming after the rain. High temperatures for your Sunday, already hinting at that extended forecast. Warming up a few degrees. We're seeing 91 Amory, 91 New Albany and Holly Springs, and 95 back there towards Greenville. So that toasty forecast, it's moving back in play, especially with those dry conditions moving in as well. Triple digits becoming a lot more prominent. Not expecting heat advisories for our Sunday, but maybe a few out there towards the Delta trying to reach that heat advisory threshold. Current alerts not having it reach over the Mississippi River, but I would not be surprised to see Tunica County, Coahoma County, and even as far south as Bolivar County included in those heat advisories. So watching for that threat, but our primary threat tomorrow will be the flash flooding threat, that marginal threat across North Mississippi. Going to see some heightened chances, especially like similar to that storm over Batesville. That was moving really slow and it had a lot of heavy rainfall output. If one of those were happening to form, especially in an already saturated environment, that could result in some flash flooding, especially in low-lying areas, things of that nature. So if you're prone to flooding and one of these heavy thunderstorms pops up over you, I mean, you know the drill. You know what typically happens. So hopefully that's not the case, but go ahead and be prepared just in case. 89 for Saturday, 92 for Sunday. Chances of some scattered showers and thunderstorms, so any weekend plans to be on the safe side, probably need to move them indoors or at least reschedule. Sunday is your best bet to get some outdoor plans done, but even that, we talked about, the further north and east you are, the higher the chances you'll see some rainfall. Some folks out west probably could get away with some outdoor plans there for Sunday. But beyond that point, hey, plan anything outside as long as there's water included and air conditioning close by. Because 94 for Monday with isolated chances of rainfall. 96 for Tuesday with isolated chances of rainfall. What these chances of rainfall are really going to do is add to the steaminess in the atmosphere. So it's going to make it feel that much more muggy. So although we think that rain-cooled air, yes, that's a good thing. It's a good thing when you have 50% coverage and cloud cover. But whenever it becomes that sunny forecast with that isolated shower popping up here and there, it just adds to that stickiness that makes it feel even more miserable. Now by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there's your dry air. There's everything you need to get done outside, all your outdoor chores you've been putting off. But make sure to stay on the safe side with lots of water and lots of breaks inside. Trust me, I learned this last week. Breaks are very important, especially if you're working in the afternoon. 98 degrees by Wednesday, 97 Thursday with heat indices in the triple digits. It's just going to be a toasty forecast. So make sure to stay on the safe side. And one of the ways to do so, we talked about water, breaks, rain gear for your Sunday, but also the Mississippi Live Weather app gives you everything you need to know for that extended forecast. So make sure to go download that today from your app store. iOS and Android gives you the latest information for your weathercast, gives you access to the 24/7 stream. And yeah, just gives you everything you need to know. I do want to say before we end tonight, if you have any questions in the chat, I will try my best to answer those come tomorrow evening. And tomorrow we're going to be live at 6 and 10. But before I go, we do have an addition to the team. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but meteorologist Maggie McCauley, she is joining the team. She's a former North Mississippi resident. She just announced that she's a part of the team, and we are so happy to have her on board. I think she's making her debut Monday, so I'll let her talk more about that come Monday. But again, we're just so excited that this just continues to grow, and we couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you so much for just welcoming us into your homes and welcoming us into your lives. I mean, we just want to keep you safe when it comes to the weather. So yeah, couldn't do it without you guys. Once again, a big thank you. I do want to say, going forward, just download that app. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6, and I hope you guys have a great night. And one of the ways to get the app, I always forget this graphic, but one of the ways to get it is with the QR code on your screen, iOS and Android. Go ahead and scan that with your phone today. Takes you to the latest information and how to download the app. And go ahead and download that app. Submit your pictures. We want to see your Weather Watcher pictures. You guys are a part of our team. And we want you guys to stay as safe as possible when the weather strikes, and weather happens all the time. So even more reason to download the app. Make sure to download it today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night coming up at 6.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.